Welcome back to the Home of Horror podcast.
What is cracking?
Must be a mutation, a freak of nature. The stories of the brutal murder.
Less is more. You want more brutality. I like the fog, I like the mist, I like both of them.
I'm not asking if you like both of them, dude.
Surely I made enough noise to awaken the dead.
And welcome back to the Home of Horror podcast. I am your host, John. This is my co-host, Matt. Matt, say hi.
What is cracking?
We got a doozy for you, folks.
Always a doozy.
Always a fucking doozy, man. Episode 23.
Michael Jordan episode. We're going with Kevin Smith's Tusk. There it is. There it is. Honing your acting skills. I love it. Yeah, dude.
I love it,
brushing
man.
up, bro.
Yeah, brushing up. We got our own shit going on, so.
Maybe we'll incorporate a walrus.
We never know. Why not?
That was a good walrus cry.
That was a good walrus cry. That was nice. So yeah, directed by Kevin Smith, $2.8 million budget. What do we have for a year?
2014.
Great movie. Justin Long, Michael Parks, Haley Joel Osment, fucking Genesis Rodriguez. Great cast. Kevin Smith
gets along with Haley Joe from The Sixth Sense. I'm assuming more than he gets along with Bruce Willis
from Cop Out. Like, true. From The Sixth Sense as well.
I mean, he's just picking and choosing.
I wonder if
he
he talked about it. He's like, Haley, do you really like Bruce Willis? Because I fucking hate
Haley
Bruce
was
Willis.
like, I think Bruce Willis molested me. I see naked people.
If anybody doesn't know, we're talking about Kevin Smith did Cop Out. Him and Bruce Willis did not get along. It was a whole thing. But anyway, we're not going to get too deep into that. I want to talk about some current events going on before we jump into the movie, some stuff going on with us and also in the horror community right now. So first of all, this is the first week that Spiral, the Book of Saw, has come out into theaters. So we won't know the box office numbers until this podcast is released, but probably going to be big.
What are your expectations?
Not much. I love Saw.
Me too. I like the first. I like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah. I love the first one.
You can't. That's
really like the second one, and like the third. After that, it gets boring. It's repetitive. I understand that they're throwing in new,
and they kill off the main draw.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
you know what I mean.
and
then it's disciples, and you're just going through the motions at this point. It's almost like, you know, any cheesy fucking franchise that you've seen where it's a moneymaker. So let's just keep making money, and they don't care how they do it.
Yeah.
Just like the remake of Freddy. And,
exactly.
You know what I mean? All this shit.
Well, even just with those franchises where there's 10 movies, I get it, but like...
How many of them are good?
Yeah.
How many of them are epic? Like Jason 10?
Yeah,
I know there's a huge following.
Probably
Jason
better than the first one.
Agreed. Give me that one over the
We'll talk more about
2.
that when we do Friday the 13th.
2, yeah.
But it's the same thing with Saw. We'll talk a lot about Saw. We plan on doing the Saw franchise. But there is something to be said about, you know, there's not a lot of classics being made nowadays. Even back in the early 2000s, like a lot of them aren't considered classics. You know why? It's because they keep making money off them and doing more series. And I told you this. If Saw was a one-off, the first movie... Not that I don't like the second. I really like the second. I think it should have been done. And the third. But if
the second needed to be done.
Yeah, it was really good.
The way it ended,
and then you do the trilogy.
You wanting
more.
And
then you do the trilogy and you end
Exactly.
But if Saw was just so happened to be a one-off movie, it would be a classic today. It would be probably in my top 10.
Even if it left you with the end?
Yeah, I think it was good enough where it was like, man.
But it left you wanting more. And then
it does.
10 years, 12 years, 20 years down the fucking road, we'd get some shitty fucking... And you wouldn't have any of the original characters in it.
No,
you know what I mean?
But they're doing that now anyway.
Agreed, but at least you had that.
Yeah.
Don't cry over the end.
I know. And most classics aren't one-offs anyway. I get that. There's always series. But like, look at The Exorcist. Like, The Exorcist is still looked at as like the one classic movie, even though there's some like 3's pretty good.
I've recently
2's
heard
terrible.
some slander on The Exorcist. I actually messaged you the other night. I'm not going to mention. I'm not gonna mention the.
There's
podcast
slander there
I was
for
listening.
a reboot, for sure.
Yeah, and you're the one who influenced all that shit. We talked about it, and then all of a sudden it fucking pops up.
Give
You
me
fuck.
that credit.
You fuck.
Give me that credit, though.
Oh yeah,
Clip
Fuck you.
that.
Fuck you.
Give us 100,000 views.
Yeah.
If I
and you also said, "Is Max von Sydow dead?" And then he died the next day.
dude,
You fuck.
dude, if that was on the podcast and I clipped that and it wasn't just on a video I put out, 100,000 views right now because it got boom.
Well, we had mentioned it because we were talking about.
Yeah.
You could have all the original characters from that.
Exactly,
movie.
and then
you could bring
and
Sydow
then
back
Sydow
somehow.
goes, and then Sydow
well,
goes.
except for Jason. What?
Yeah, the
Karras.
Karras, Father Karras.
Jason,
Yeah,
I can't remember his last name.
But obviously you get the remake, but like even if you just get those three, like then I think Saw the original is a fucking classic, and I'm sure people put it in their top 10 and it's a classic now, but to me it's just like it was a money grab after 3.
Yeah, I don't think I see enough Saw like appreciation.
Yeah,
I mean you'll see more now because of
course,
because of this.
It's coming back out,
of course, yeah,
and that's the whole point.
And I never even saw Jigsaw, but I own all the Saws.
Yeah. And that's
What
what
is there,
7 of them. Yeah.
So.
And then Jigsaw came out.
But
so this is
Jigsaw,
like the
I haven't
9th.
even seen that one because it just got so fucking repetitive.
Of course,
and
of
it was
course.
like, wow.
It's like now his little minions are running everything, and it's like, dude,
And it's not as good, you
just
know.
have him be in it. Fuck it.
Right.
But
Find a way to write this. He had a twin.
right,
He had a twin brother.
something.
Whoa.
Or he just wasn't dead.
Dude, is that Spiral? He has a twin.
Maybe. Who fucking knows? But obviously, Spiral is out in theaters. We'll probably talk about it at some point. We're going to do the Saw franchise, so we won't get too far into it. Another thing is, I labeled this as the case to remake The Langoliers.
Dude, we've been talking about it for a long time.
The Langoliers by Stephen King, a miniseries that was put on television. I think it's 25 or 26 years old today. One of the best stories he's written.
It's unbelievable. And the CGI is top notch. Top fucking notch.
Fucking
It's my
terrible
favorite CGI. What?
Terrible CGI, and that's my case as to why it should be remade. That's
How
the
do you
only
do it?
reason.
Okay, so if you remade it, would you go?
Don't even show them.
Would you go really good CGI, or would you try to do practical effects?
I would try to not show them.
Well, how do you not show them?
If I didn't see them at all in that movie, the story's good enough. Honestly, well, you only see them at the end anyway.
I get it. I need to see something. Give me something.
I guess you could
man.
do the CGI and it'd be fine, but
No, I don't
You're gonna
want-
show me a bunch of Pac-Man in the air, like, come on, dude.
Dude, and Pac-Man is probably better on an arcade screen than that.
It looks way better.
It
Like,
was-
make them yellow at least.
It was
I guess.
really bad.
But 26, 25, 26 years old.
Stop remaking Stephen King movies unless it's the Langoliers.
Unless it's the Langoliers, exactly.
100%.
Great fucking movie. Remake it. That's the only one I say remake. It's the only movie that deserves to be
100% agree.
remade in the horror genre right now. Next thing is some news about us. We've been working on our short story.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Let's take a shot.
Absolutely.
Let's take a shot. Here's to 23, brother.
Episode 23.
You may proceed.
That's going to be gone tonight, probably.
It's always gone, dude.
It's always gone.
I mean, by the end of the podcast, you're a quarter or a third of the way down, and then we have other shit that we're doing every time after the podcast.
We're doing a lot of filming after content.
And this leads right into what you're talking
Right
about.
into what I'm talking about, yes. So we've been working on our short film Worm. Everybody knows this. We've been talking about it for like 3 months now.
Mm-hmm.
But we finally put out our teaser trailer for the film. It's not the official trailer. We haven't decided if we're going to put out an official trailer yet.
Yeah.
We don't want to give too much
We
away.
hate trailers.
We've gotten some feedback saying, you know what, this is almost exactly what I need. It's just enough. It doesn't tell me anything about the story,
right.
but it shows me what you guys are able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we really appreciate that.
And if I may say so myself, the acting in this movie,
Superb.
top notch. Yes,
Oscar nomination.
dude, unbelievable.
Should be.
Should be.
Especially when you're talking about some of the fucking movies that are nominated nowadays.
Oh my god, yeah, that's
But
a whole nother can of worms.
Anyway,
You see what I did there?
Can of worms. Pound it. Might have to take another shot.
Let's do it.
Anyway, while he pours that, I will talk. So we released the teaser trailer, and we're going to take this shot while we, right on this podcast, this episode, show you the teaser trailer.
Enjoy.
So it's not the premiere. It's been out. People have been loving it, but we want to give you guys a chance to check it out. So here you go. Here's the official teaser trailer for our short film Worm, coming soon. Dude, he got out, man. Who? Henry Guild, that's who.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about this guy. They called him the Kennebec Killer.
There it is, folks.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable acting.
Superb acting.
Great cuts.
Some
up on
good
the
gore
trailer.
in there right off the bat.
Unbelievable.
The score is pretty good, if I do say so myself.
Right, John Carpenter Jr. over here.
So yeah, we're
having fun with it.
we're having fun with it, man. We're really
And we don't take
enjoying
anything too
making
seriously,
it.
you know.
And this kind of leads right into the movie we're talking about today, which is Tusk. First couple minutes we got off topic. That's okay. That's what we wanted to do. But this kind of leads right into Tusk, because today we're talking about Kevin Smith, and I've been researching a lot about the making of Tusk and what it came from. And Tusk was created because Kevin Smith has a podcast called Smodcast, and episode, I believe it's 259 of the Smodcast, is called the Walrus and the Carpenter. And the entire podcast is based, the entire episode is based on this ad they found in a UK, almost like a UK Craigslist called Gumtree, Gumtree.com, which is mentioned in the movie, by the way.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, and it was an ad for a lodging. So for someone who was looking for lodging, and everything was pretty much free. Everything was included. The only stipulation was you had to dress up as a walrus for about 1 to 2 hours a day.
Would you do it?
No,
If it was real?
that sounds like a lot of work. I'd rather just pay the money. Get into a walrus suit like this. This ad said, I need you to dress up like a walrus in the suit. You need to act like a walrus for at least 2 hours.
You wouldn't do that?
Well, I don't know what acting like a walrus means. Does that mean I got to eat a mackerel? You know what I mean? Does that mean I got to eat raw fish all the
Do what you
time?
gotta do, brother, to save a dime in this
I mean, I
economy.
guess. But in the UK, in Brighton, I don't know. I don't think I'm doing that. But it's really cool to think that this whole movie came about because Kevin Smith did an episode on his podcast about this ad that popped up in the UK that at the time he thought was real.
Right.
Everybody thought was real.
Yeah.
But really what it was a kid trying to go viral with this ad about someone, an old man wanting people to dress up as a walrus.
Well, aren't there really people out there like that?
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
what do they call
And I don't
them?
know.
Like,
I don't know Gumtree.com. I don't know what type
do
of
they call
website this
those
is.
people
If they
who,
have
like-
a lot of people like that,
Furries?
I don't know. Well,
Is
it's a
that like
fetish thing
yeah,
for
it's
sure.
a fetish thing. Yeah,
For sure.
They call them furries or something.
Like you mean like with animals?
yeah,
I don't
anything
know.
with
Yeah.
animals, I feel like it's
Yeah,
like
maybe.
a furry or a fuzzy.
Sounds
or
good to me. I'll
something.
call it furry for sure. Even fuzzy sounds good.
Yeah, so I know it's something like
You
that.
fuzzies and furries out there,
Yeah.
fucking relax.
Yeah, simmer down.
Simmer down. Don't be putting ads
No,
out there. At
we-
least make
we-
it a little bit more discreet. Go
we-
on the dark web or some shit.
Hey, don't go on the dark web, dude.
Well,
No,
if you're a
dude.
furry or a fuzzy, I feel like you belong on the dark web.
We don't feel that way about you. We love
don't
you guys.
Condone the dark web. Okay.
No, I don't condone the dark. Dude, I was there once. I'll never go back.
You were in the center.
Ask J-Man.
Central Park of
Our
dark
buddy
web.
J-Man was over. Dude,
Not a good idea. Stay off that shit.
don't. Don't
Anyway,
even look up dark web.
no, bad idea. Anyway, so this whole movie idea was started on this episode of this podcast where he found this ad for someone who wanted anybody who wanted lodging. All they had to do was dress up as a walrus. And him and his podcast, his co-host said, "Oh my God, this is like creepy as fuck, right?
Right.
Like this should be a horror movie." And in the entire, it's brilliant, man. The entire podcast, they pretty much lay out the movie for Tusk. Mind you, they had no idea that this was actually going to happen. They just came up with this idea of like, oh my God, this would be a fucking crazy horror movie to do, right? Like, imagine if we did this. And they spent 30 to 40 minutes of the episode just bullshitting, being like, oh my God, like this is how the movie would go.
And that's how great things start right there. You know?
Exactly.
Just brainstorming.
And
shooting the shit.
I go right into that because that's kind of how Worm, our short film, kind of started for us. We did a podcast with John Campopiano, like we've explained 1,000 times, so I won't go into it, but our short film basically started from a podcast episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kind of an experiment of a way to...
And we've talked even before that of story ideas that we have, and we both have some story ideas.
Oh, we have stories written that we
Right.
didn't even continue.
That we've talked about because they're not... You can't do them with the budget that we have.
Which is no budget.
Which is none.
And obviously Kevin Smith had $3 million, I mean...
Yeah,
But that's fine.
just a lowly $3 million.
But that's fine. But
you know what I mean?
But
And that's
it's
great.
It's the same dynamic. Like he did it the same way we're doing it. You know what I mean? Where obviously we have no budget and we've spent literally under $100 for our film.
Yeah.
But he was like,
well, no, if you include all the tequila and the alcohol that's drank.
Well, that's what the podcast too, though. The podcast costs us a little money, and so go buy some merch.
Right.
Go to New England HOH on Instagram or Tequila Monster on Instagram. And,
Shameless plug.
And shameless plug. And buy some merch to help out with the short movies and the podcast.
Right. We have fun doing
See these flimsy mics? We want some different mics here.
Grow up.
No, but we wanted to, like we've explained, I'm not going to go into it too much. We wanted to spend the least amount of money and see what we can do.
We're filming this from a phone.
And we think the story's good enough to push something where we can put it out there. Yeah.
We're doing
But it's a good enough story where we can say, hey,
yes.
let's fucking do this. And same thing with Kevin Smith. Obviously, he's on a way different, but 2.8 is nothing.
No, it's not.
In the Hollywood world.
But I will also say this. He has the network around him,
of course,
that we don't have.
Absolutely.
Here in Maine, and the networking that we have, we don't know. Your kid, you know, you're a new father.
Yeah.
Your kid doesn't go to daycare with Johnny Depp's son,
exactly,
or daughter, or whatever. Or, you know, you're not friends with Justin fucking Long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or Michael Parks,
there's a big,
who was in Red State for him.
Right.
Like,
There's a big difference in all of that stuff. And I'm not taking anything away from that.
It's the same idea.
I'm
is
saying,
what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just on a way bigger scale than anybody in our situation could ever do.
But it's on like the big scale, but the lowest of the big scale, right?
Agreed.
So like, it's just really cool. And what Kevin Smith explained in the bonus features of the DVD of this movie is really cool because he said, you know, this was why I wanted to continue. First of all, he loved the conversation he had.
Right.
Talking about making this movie, and he thought he had some really good ideas. Mm-hmm. What happened was he started a thing on Twitter and Instagram and all this thing of like hashtag Walrus yes or Walrus no. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to get the audience's idea for the podcast of if this would be a cool movie or if this would just be an absolute shit show,
right?
Like Clerks. No, I'm just kidding, Kevin Smith. I fucking love you, man.
Clerks sucked.
Hey, I love you, man.
I'm not afraid to say it, man. I'd say it to his face if he was sitting here right now.
But you would say you love Tusk.
I love Tusk. Clerks sucked.
I love Red
Jay
State.
and Silent Bob, great. Red State, really good.
Dogma, great.
Dogma.
Come on, man.
Pretty good. Simmer down.
I'm simmering down. I might need another fucking tequila shot. We love you, Kevin Smith, either way.
But Red State, yes. Very good to great.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
You put John Goodman in anything. Put him in Cloverfield fucking.
And Michael Parks is in that movie too. Yeah, Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, and
it's good enough.
That wasn't even
but it's
great,
all dialogue.
But it's all dialogue.
John Goodman, you're gonna love
John Goodman,
yeah.
Dude. And when you have a guy who can command an audience like that, and I think Parks does that in this movie
for
with
sure.
Tusk.
For sure.
I mean, I know we're gonna really get into it, and like,
Yeah.
because I was watching it again, and I actually jotted down some notes. I haven't done that in a
In a
while,
while, yeah.
but I jotted down some notes, and I was like, this fucking dude,
So good.
like
the character he plays is
and
perfect.
what's the YouTube video that anybody can find of behind the scenes?
If you look up back to what I was saying, it's called Walrus. Yes.
Okay, Walrus. Yes.
So it was all based off. That's the making of Tusk. So go on, whatever you were saying.
And we see him. And there's a scene where him and Long meet. Parks and Long meet.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Can I offer you some tea?"
Yes. Could I pour you some tea or whatever it was?
Can I pour you some tea? And then Kevin Smith's like, "Actually, Parks, I want you to say,
Could I interest you?
Could I interest you in some tea?"
Yes.
And he's like, and Parks just kind of,
He's like, you
fucking asshole,
you fucking bastard.
He's
like,
and Justin Zong's like, he said he'd love to do it.
Yeah, and it's so
you
good.
know what I mean? Because, and that's the type of director you would want to work with.
That's what I'm saying.
It
looks so laid back,
right?
dude.
And you can kind of give him shit.
Yeah.
But I could also understand, like, just to go back a little bit, like Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
He's worked with some of the biggest
prestigious shit
of
like,
the big
like all
budget
business.
movies. He's a guy who goes in, he gets his paycheck, and he wants to get the job done. And
he always does.
Absolutely, I love Bruce Willis.
Yeah, he always gets the job done.
If you're giving me my choice between Smith and Willis, I mean,
Bruce Willis is a great actor,
he's
but also two different dynamics. I mean,
agreed. But
if you're watching a Kevin Smith film, you're looking for some fun. You're looking for a laid back time. It's a popcorn movie.
Agreed.
If you're watching if you're watching Die Hard, I mean, you know that Die Hard is
probably the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Probably the greatest action movie of all time.
I would not say action.
Well, we won't go into action too much in this podcast, but still, Die Hard's up there. Die Hard's up there.
It's up there, absolutely.
Of course, right?
Sure.
Like
greatest Christmas movie of all time.
It's legendary either way.
Behind The Night Before.
Oh, you're killing me. Home Alone, dude. You're killing me.
Oh,
Best Christmas. Dude,
The Night
don't even
Before,
get me started.
Well,
December 24th, we'll pick this conversation back up.
Right. Well, we differ on a lot of holiday movies.
Absolutely. But anyway, so yeah, if you go on YouTube, you can watch Walrus. Yes, the making of Tusk.
Worth it.
Definitely worth it.
If you like the movie, especially.
But back to the behind the scenes type of thing and how he kind of said it was really cool. The reason he wanted to continue, like I said, they did that episode of the podcast and they kind of laid out the basis of this horror movie that they were like would be cool to do.
Right.
You're like, oh my God, this sounds like a horror movie. It's creepy as fuck. Think about it. No one does a horror movie about fucking a walrus, but it's kind of terrifying if you think about it. And he said, the minute I got done that podcast, it was like he started to put it together in his head and write in the screenplay because it was such a crazy idea. And the way he heard from the fans, they were like, oh, wait, this is how it's done?
Right.
Like, this is how ideas spark into your head. Like, this is how easy it is. And then you could just, if you write a good enough script, I mean, this is how it all starts.
Well, we've talked about it in the past, even with some, great writers. Stephen King, I know.
Yeah.
When
just life experiences.
Right, and when his son ran into the road.
Pet
Cemetery came to his mind immediately.
On a whole different level, but
Agreed, but it takes one event that can turn
creativity.
The creativity level to 1,000.
Yeah.
Because he knew about Pet Cemetery, he had gone and visited it, and he was trying to work with some things in his head, and then when that happened with his son, right here in Maine, all of a sudden everything clicked.
Yeah.
Everything clicked for him, and it was like just something small can send something so big into motion.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And now the difference is with Kevin Smith and Stephen King, and obviously Stephen King is on a completely different level. Kevin Smith would agree with that.
He would, yeah.
Because obviously he's writing his own, he's writing his stories out completely.
I'll cheers to that.
Cheers to that. Stephen King, Kevin Smith, love them both.
Here's to Stephen King.
But here's where Kevin Smith did it really well. If you're a Kevin Smith fan, or if you were a part of that episode, which I wasn't, I didn't listen to his podcast yet. I've always been a Kevin Smith fan, but I mean, 2014, I wasn't into podcasts yet. Podcasts were Kevin Smith was one of the pioneers. Like, he started podcasting with Joe Rogan and all those people before.
Who's Joe Rogan?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just kidding.
But the idea behind it is brilliant because he said, listen, I wanted to make this movie, obviously because he wanted to see a fucking Walrus horror movie. Like, who fucking wouldn't? And, well, I mean, there's a lot of people that wouldn't, but a lot of horror fans would love to see something different like that. Because whatever this movie is to you, it is definitely original. And what he said was, hey, this is a great opportunity because I get to show the fans the process. They get to listen to this episode, and then they get to see me write a screenplay. Right. Then they get to see the trailer come out. And even if the movie failed, even if it didn't go into motion, they get to see the entire process and the creative process of putting a movie together.
Right, and the crowd can almost tell you the can of do's and can of don'ts of what you want.
And that's how it's can of do's. I don't know if that's a word, but we'll roll with it.
Can of do's and can of don'ts. It's obviously a word. It's mentioned in the movie.
True.
That fucking guy, dude. There's so much comedic relief in this movie.
Absolutely.
That it's like, and Johnny Depp's character in this movie.
Yeah, and let's save it because we'll get into that.
I agree.
We'll
I'm just saying, like,
oh my god, yeah.
He goes out of his way to, you have a very serious issue.
Yeah.
And like the CG, if we're talking about CGI, we were talking about with the Langoliers.
Yeah.
The CGI in the beginning of this movie, terrible.
Yeah.
Fucking god awful.
Yeah.
Not as awful as the fake laughing that we get from Haley Joel Osment and Justin Long.
Yeah.
The fake laughing there.
Yeah.
It's
not
cringe.
great.
It's cringeworthy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was
if it's like meant to be.
That's what I was just gonna say. I don't know if it's meant to, like, because they're doing a podcast.
Well, because
and
it
they're
kind of
playing
feels
a role.
like that. It kind of feels like even me and you when we're like, all right, we're joking around. Then it's like action, and then it's like kind of put on the character persona of the podcast.
I'm not. I play myself.
It's true, but like,
you know what I mean.
There's still like if we gotta take a piss, we're like, and stop. Okay, we gotta take a piss. You know what I mean?
Are we bringing this up again?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if
I'll piss right into this jug right here, you son of a bitch.
But I think there is that type of persona with a podcast where you put on you don't put on an act, but you put on like your game face, right?
Absolutely. And I think whenever you're doing,
so maybe
something
he's
like
trying
this,
to portray that. And maybe it doesn't work on screen that well.
Right.
But, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, no one goes in and does a podcast and just completely, like, is laid back. Like, even to this day, we've done 23 episodes. Like, I still get I get the exciting jitters, you know? Like, oh, we're about to go on. Like, I'm excited to do another episode.
Literally, when we started this, I know we're getting a little off topic here, but when we started this, it was like, okay, getting a little nervous. The lights are about to go on.
Exactly.
We're going to record. We're recording at my kitchen
like
table. We have traffic in the background. We hear it.
It feels like 1,000 people are listening to you, you know?
You know, and there's really like 2.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? At that point.
It's true, though.
You know what I'm saying?
There was like 10 people, and shout out to those fucking 10 people.
We love you.
And now there's like hundreds, which is dope.
Right, and that's good.
But back to my point. We'll get into Johnny Depp, obviously. But, he got to show the fans the process of making a movie and how it starts from this little thought on a podcast to becoming a feature-length film. And he did that, man. He turned this little Walrus story, which, by the way, the man who put it out was trying to go viral.
And he did, obviously.
And he did. And it was fake. And Kevin Smith when he found out, he brought this guy on set as a producer, being like, yo, come down, come to America, check, because they filmed it in North Carolina, even though it's based in Canada.
Right.
And he was like,
oh, what are you talking about?
What
are you talking about?
When we get into Johnny Depp, his accent, fucking unbelievable.
Even the girls at the store.
Oh, yeah. Dude, which he made yoga hosers off of those two characters, which is his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter.
And did you notice the shirt in the background in that scene?
No.
Red, white, and never blue.
Oh, yeah, and they mention it.
And they mention it in the airport guy. Like, he's joking around with Justin Long when he gets in, and then he's like, I don't really like hockey. And he's like, can you take your hands off the counter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then he's just like, what the whole situation changes.
Yeah. But those two girls, and it's kind of a shout out to Clerks a little bit.
Oh,
with the two clerks.
It is absolutely.
But that's Harley Quinn Smith. That's his daughter, and that's Johnny Depp's daughter. Those two.
Really?
Those two. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So they made. He
You
ended
learn
up
something new every day.
He ended up
folks.
making a movie called Yoga Hosers, which is those two. It's based off those two characters, which ends up still being played by Johnny Depp's daughter and
Kevin Smith's daughter.
Kevin Smith's daughter. And Johnny Depp in that movie reprises his role as Guy Lapointe.
Oh
Guy Lapointe.
Dude.
So very cool. It's just a cool, just the way the movie was. We've been talking about this a little too long, but like the come up of the movie is really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So let's dive into the actual fucking movie here.
You guys have a podcast called The Nazi Party.
The Nazi Party.
The
N-O-T.
Nazi
N-O-T space
S-E-E.
S-E-E. Not
See,
C Party.
and I do love that because it brings that shock factor. And what am I all about?
And it's funny
the shock
too.
factor. And it's going to offend people.
Yeah.
Some people are not going to like it. The Holocaust was a bad fucking thing. I'm
course.
not saying it wasn't.
Of course.
But and then it comes
But
up
it's
later
funny.
in the movie when when she's on the phone with the police after he goes missing.
And they're like,
stuff.
fuck you, the
And
Nazi Party.
You can find his pictures on the NaziParty.com.
And Haley
he's
Joel
like,
Osment,
spell it.
who plays Teddy, he's like, yeah, spell it. Spell that shit. Because holy
I
fuck.
fucking love that.
Dude, it's so funny.
See, but I want to get back to my original point. The
Yeah.
fake laughing, it's awful.
Yeah.
It is awful, awful, awful. And do you think they meant to do it? Or do you think that was just really bad fake laughing?
No, yeah, I don't think Justin Long's that bad to do that. I
I'm
don't
not
think
even-
Haley Joel Osment is that bad
Haley
to do
Joel
it.
Osment, it was awful bad laughing. It was like
I think
you
it was
could
meant to be.
clearly tell it was bad.
I think it was meant to be. I think those, especially
hope
if you're
so.
filming
I hope so.
Especially if you're filming that scene, it's just such a especially if you watch Walrus, yes, the making of.
Right.
Those scenes are like, all right, and action, and cut. Yeah, and cut. It's like they weren't
I hate
worried.
that.
Well, with $3 million, like
Oh
you're
my
not
God.
worried about those scenes.
Don't give me the budget and then give me a half-assed fucking effort, though.
But that's the truth. That's the truth.
Okay, so if you weren't getting paid what you were worth and you took the job knowing the budget, would you give a half-assed effort, or would you really put all your
Oh my
all
God!
into
No,
that?
no! I don't give a shit about that. It's not them. It's Kevin Smith going, okay, I don't give a fuck about you because I have Johnny Depp's scene coming up. Fuck that.
See that makes me feel worse about it.
Really? Oh, fuck that,
Absolutely,
dude. I don't give a
it
shit
makes me feel
because I
worse
don't give
about
a
it.
shit about that.
If I'm filming a movie, even if it is only for a 2.8 or whatever the fuck it was, I want the actors that signed on to do this movie. If I want a real sounding laugh, if I want a conversation between me and you, I feel like I could laugh better than
Yeah,
that.
but put it in context of the film, though.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, it's a podcast, so it's supposed to be a show, especially one that's making, like
Yeah,
he mentions, $100,000 in advertisement.
Yeah, and guess what? If people were fake laughing like that, I wouldn't fucking listen to that show.
Oh,
No
I guarantee.
chance.
I guarantee you have listened to a show that people have fake laughed.
Absolutely not. I have never listened to a fake laugh.
What I'm
Ever.
saying to you is that people sometimes, especially getting paid that much, don't want to do the show that day. It just happens.
Yeah, well, I don't want to do the show today, so fuck you.
See?
I'm out of here.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying?
No, but you know what I'm saying.
No.
Like,
what
don't give a half-assed effort.
No, but your question was,
I feel like you were saying Kevin Smith just kind of said, okay, it wasn't a great scene, it wasn't a great
No,
take,
that's not what I was trying to say.
But we have Johnny Depp coming
no,
out.
that's not what I was trying to say.
That's what you were saying.
No, if you have 6 weeks to film a movie, you're not worried about the podcast scene.
Oh
you can
my God. I'm worried about every
No,
scene if
no,
I have 6
no.
weeks to film a fucking movie.
No. You're fucking wrong because
You're full of horseshit.
Johnny Depp has 10 minutes in this movie and it's unfucking believable.
I can't understand half of what he fucking says.
And it's unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal. Dude, you don't have, when you watch the making of, you don't have the budget. First of all, isn't based off what you spend for the movie.
I agree with that.
He had like maybe
I'm not a stupid man,
He had
John.
maybe $300,000. So when Johnny Depp comes to you and says, "I'll do the role," you don't have to pay me a thing.
Right, yeah. We've talked about
All
this.
you have to do is pay for the makeup artist.
Right, love it.
You give everything to Johnny Depp.
Oh, and it's okay. So you give everything to Johnny Depp, and you sacrifice the rest of your movie to work around that.
No, because he didn't sacrifice the rest of the movie just because of those little
fake
laughs. No, dude.
I'm saying
You didn't give a shit about those fake laughs. You know you didn't.
Why am I spending so much time on it?
When you see that
why
old
am
school,
I spending so much time on it then, John?
It doesn't make any sense because you had too much tequila. What I'm saying is, I have
never had too much tequila.
When you
go fuck yourself,
when
John.
you get that 1970s James Bond.
I don't even want to pour you a shot this time.
When
piece of shit.
when you get that 1970s James Bond pan out of the Walrus, that's what the movie's for. That's when you go, okay, this movie's fucking crazy.
So you're okay with a movie only doing the big scenes correct and looking over the small stuff that isn't to your liking.
Well,
that's what you're telling me. No, that is what you're telling me.
Because I think
because in the grand scheme of things, that laugh doesn't mean shit. But you know what I noticed?
Well,
and when
in the
I
movie
took
world,
my notes,
you're right.
And when I took my notes,
yeah.
You know what I said? The fake laughing is god awful. Does it not say that right at the top? The fake laughing is god awful.
Yeah, but when it says this guy is smooth as shit, what does that mean?
We're not there yet.
Yeah, but
Mr.
you're gonna get there. Yeah, so good. I'd rather focus on that guy than the fake fucking.
You know
laugh.
what I'd rather focus on? A quality movie.
You know what Bill
Belichick does?
Did you
know
like
what Bill Belichick does? Special teams,
all?
defense, and offense. All of them need to play together
To make Tom Brady look unbelievable.
Grow up. Shut your fucking mouth about Tom. He's the GOAT.
Who does anybody... Exactly. Exactly. And he had a lot of players that backed him up.
And you're damn right. And they did their job well.
Yes.
And they did every phase of the game.
No one noticed. But no one noticed.
And guess what? People notice when it's not right.
No.
And people notice when this is going to be great. You're so wrong on this, and people are going to agree with me.
That's not true. That's not true. Tom Brady is considered the greatest, and no one gives a shit about anybody else. It's true. Unless if you're a diehard Patriots fan, no one gives a shit about anybody else.
You're right about that.
The minute Tom Brady left...
But it took all three phases of the game to win championships and to win Super Bowls.
Well, this movie is... That's fine if you're making a $30 million movie.
Oh, my God. So if you're only making $3 million or you're making $30 million, that makes a difference in your performance.
Yes. Okay.
So that makes a difference in your effort. So if I was only willing to pay you minimum wage, you'd give a half-assed fucking effort.
So you don't think...
Is that what you're saying?
So you don't think with our movie Worm that we could have done better on some scenes?
I think I am superb.
Okay, let's move past this.
I'm better than the fake laughing.
We spent enough time on this. Let's move past it.
You've lost the argument.
Okay, that's fine. We'll let you guys decide.
You have lost the argument.
Okay. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers.
Good
Fuck
argument.
you. Yeah,
Good
you've
argument.
had too much tequila.
Good argument. Good. Dude, cheers it and bury it. Bury it.
I'll bury it deep inside.
Anyway, okay, so.
Wow, we got real off topic there.
Actually, we didn't. We did.
Got heated.
I think we got heated about something that didn't matter too much. Back to my point, I win.
Oh my god! Fuck this guy. Fuck him. You tell him he's fucking wrong. God.
Actually, yeah, we'll clip this. You guys let us know. I'm down with it. If I'm wrong, that's fine. Good content. So anyway, let's get to the overall plot. Obviously, it's a fucking crazy fucking plot of a movie, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, who else is going to make a movie about a fucking walrus? Or a man being turned into a walrus, right?
And the thing is, like, when Justin Long goes and meets Howard, what's his last name? Howard Howe.
Yeah.
And
I think that's what it is.
And he's in the wheelchair, and when he's telling the stories, the fucking stories that he's telling.
Intriguing.
They're intriguing. Oh, you're gripped the whole time. He's sitting around a fire, he's in a wheelchair, he's got everything to tell you. And I love the scene when he's talking about Hemingway.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Where he says
with the bottle.
With the bottle, and he says, always act sober as you do drunk, and you'll learn to keep your mouth shut.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he actually said that to me. And then he tells the story behind all that. And then when Long's looking around the room, he goes, "Is this the bottle? This is the coolest thing I've ever fucking seen." And he goes, "Well, only with the story."
Only with the story.
And I love that. And and like I kind of connected with that because You've known me a long time.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a storyteller.
Absolutely.
And I love to fuck with people.
But I think more people should be like that, right?
I think there are more people like that. You know what I mean?
Well, what I'm saying, like, what's cool about, like, you would never display that in your house unless if you couldn't tell the story.
Unless you were going with a bit.
Exactly.
Unless it was a bit.
So the whole point is to so if I walk into a house and there's some random object, like, that's cool because if I say something about it and then someone tells me a story, I know that, like, the person that lives here, like, that resides here is, like, an interesting person. You know what I mean?
And they've told you a story that you wanted to hear.
Because there's no reason to just put
now
that
that's
random
interesting
thing.
to you, unless there's not.
Exactly, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I love that aspect of it because
Yeah, for sure.
I have fucked with people for years and years and years. I went to a party one time and I told everybody Hulk Hogan had died that night. Dude, I
told everybody I was a wide receiver.
The first night we
Florida
met.
State,
First night we ever met.
Yeah. And
I told everybody you were a wide receiver.
And it's, like, not
at Florida
true,
State.
but, like, their night was cooler.
Everybody was like, dude, people were trying to get your autographs.
Like,
that
those
night.
people definitely went back to wherever they were from.
Oh,
and were like,
yeah.
dude, I met an FSU wide
Yeah, oh,
receiver.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That was the first time I love doing shit like that.
Like, that's cool.
So I loved that story. in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And he's like,
and it doesn't hurt anybody. Like,
right. And that's the same thing that I was going to say with the Hulk Hogan thing. Yes, I shouldn't have said he died. But everybody had a great time that night. A lot of people ripped their fucking shirts off. And everybody was cheering to Hulk Hogan all night.
Ups the ante.
And then later on in the night, some girl was like, I just looked it up. Hulk Hogan's not dead. And I was like, oh, well.
It's like dramatization, though.
The jig is up.
Yeah.
The jig is up. But everybody had a great time doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's something I remember. But when he says, well, it's only a bottle, but after I tell you the story, it has more significance to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I love that because he's a storyteller, dude. You can tell
for
it.
sure. Well, the first half of the movie is dialogue. When you get to
Absolutely.
this guy's house at Pippi Hill or whatever
Pippi
the fuck
Hill,
it
right,
is,
yeah.
it's mostly dialogue, which
means we're going to do a shot of tequila. So I'm going to pour one up, and then you can talk about dialogue all you want, you fucker. All right?
all right.
You getting saucy tonight.
Get a little saucy tonight.
I know you told.
It's a Friday night.
Well, maybe.
Usually we go Saturday. We're doing Friday. It's nice.
Tell me, maybe I drank too much tequila. Maybe I drank too much tequila.
Everybody knows that we do a lot of fucking tequila.
Well,
First of all, we told the audience that we would be on a quarter gone of tequila for this episode. We're about half already.
oh, we're not quite half. We're gonna be a little over half by the end.
Yeah.
Just because you called me out on this shit.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Cheers, buddy. Here's the 20. What a fucking dick. What a fucking dick face.
You said here's to 20.
It's not episode 20.
23.
You fucking dick, man. So pour them up. Round up another
what
round.
What were we
The
talking about?
dialogue. You were talking about the dialogue, which...
Well, yeah, I mean, the first half is a lot of dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get into, which is interesting because then we get into a lot of the entire movie, the action, not the action, but the fucked up part of the movie.
Agreed.
Which me and you can both agree that we like these types of movies.
Agreed. And the thing is...
There's something interesting about them.
Yep. I mean, the fake laughing was god-awful for me. I know I said that. Always do sober what you do drunk will teach you to keep your mouth shut.
Yes.
I love that. And that's kind of where we ended.
But the stories, like, are good.
But I also had a question for you.
Okay.
When Parker, Howard Howe, or whatever his fucking name is in the movie, when he says, cute is for Chinese babies, what the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
Like, honestly, he says that, and I was like, cute is for Chinese babies? I have never
That's some weird
heard
Canadian
that expression.
Shit. Some weird
I don't know if that's a
Canadian
Canadian
shit.
thing. Yeah, it sounds racist as shit to me.
Cute as, yeah, I don't know.
Cute is for Chinese babies.
I guess Chinese babies are cute.
But then, so he gives him the tea. And then,
Yes.
and long fucking, he passes out all
Passes
that
out.
shit. And then when he wakes up, dude, the way, and he comes to after the little flashback or whatever with his girl
with
and
his
all
girlfriend.
that shit.
Because obviously that's the underlying like storyline,
Agreed.
right?
And okay, and I'm gonna jump into this now. Okay, so Haley Joel Osment is his partner on the podcast.
Yes.
Just like me and you are, we're partners on a podcast.
Yeah.
So if you were going out and getting road dome, doing all these fucking stories,
Yeah.
and being a piece of shit,
Yeah.
and I get that. Like, what he was thinking like, dude, you got a good girl at home. Why are you doing this?
Oh, well, of course.
But dude, that's a piece of shit at home too. That's your boy.
Oh,
that is your boy.
I think that's the whole point, is that all three of them are pieces of shit.
All of them. Every single one of them.
She even, with her dialogue with him, and you don't really know it's him yet, even though you do.
You do. Because, dude, there's literally 4 people in this fucking movie.
Exactly.
There is literally, I was going to say that.
Well,
There's
5.
Well,
Guy Lapointe.
Well, yeah, he's one of the people I'm including. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, with Parks.
5.
Okay,
Yeah.
So there's 5
5
people in this
people in
movie.
the movie, yeah.
So you know it's him.
Yes.
I mean, outside of the clerks, outside of the airport
Of course
guy,
you do.
outside
With the
of
minute they don't
detective
show it,
and
they're
all
like,
this shit.
okay, yeah, you get it.
You know, so, like, how would you feel if your boy was just, like, there consoling you? And do you think they were fucking?
Yes.
I think so, too.
Yes, but
They were sleeping in the same bed.
But the girl didn't love it. Like, she wasn't, like, totally down for it.
Right.
But she was like he made her feel better about herself.
I get that.
Because even at the end of the movie, we see her be like,
I still love you,
Wallace, I love you. You know what I mean? So like,
and he barely says words to him. Like, what's he say? Wallace, you don't have to hide from us. That's all he says.
And then he
at the end
says,
of
"Give
the
him the treat,"
yeah,
which is a mackerel fish.
And he barely says that.
Oh yeah,
like, You don't
well,
even
he
really
knows.
hear it.
He's won
He's
in
a
this
piece of shit,
situation,
and he kind of rushes her away at the end of it. We've jumped to the end of it.
He's won in this situation, and for me, I like to think that they were not a thing after.
Her and Haley Joel.
Well, just in my imagination, I like to think of the movie.
Well, you're a fucking retard, then.
No, I like
you're
to
a
think.
fucking
I
retard.
like that. Well, obviously, in the movie, you know that they're like a thing after.
Yeah.
But I like to think that he's such a piece of shit and she's such a piece of shit that they're like, oh, that like eventually she's like, oh yeah, you're just this like
you're the guy who fake laughs on a podcast.
Yeah, you're just a baby back. Like
he is
get
a
out
baby
of
back
here.
bitch.
Like
He's
I
a
need
baby
someone
back bitch.
stronger than you. That's why I liked Wallace.
She wanted a star. She
also wanted an alpha. She wanted an alpha.
She wanted an alpha, but the thing was that's
Wallace was an alpha.
But that's
he
her
became
whole,
an alpha.
But that's her whole thing. Once he became an alpha, she didn't like him so much.
Yeah, but she kind of did.
Oh, she did. She certainly did. She
did.
teased him with the.
She didn't like the cheating
sucking his
and all.
cock and all that shit.
And then
she leaves him.
Yeah, she didn't like the cheating. She didn't like the cheating, obviously, which no girl would. No guy would either. But
right,
she liked the alphaness for sure.
What girl wouldn't?
But that's what I'm saying. This is the guy that's like, oh, he's the cleanup mess. He's the street sweeper.
Right. No,
he's like, I'm going to pick up the dirt and all the pieces and try to put it back together.
It's so sad.
Oh, it's cringy as fuck.
It's so sad. But how would you feel if your boy was doing that?
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Either way, you know.
Especially if you're even if you're him and you're a dirtbag and all this shit.
And he is a dirtbag.
Yeah,
I'm not denying that.
But in that context of the character, like you trust your best friend, right?
Agreed. I trust you, and if you did that to me,
I'm just saying, like those, like he's a dirtbag. Yes.
Yeah.
What he's doing to his girlfriend, not right. Especially because she's a bombshell. She's very erotic. And Genesis, right?
Fuck you with the fucking very erotic shit. Don't steal my shit.
Stole that shit. But no, you agree though.
I agree.
So that's your line. You're right,
and, dude. And the thing is, when he's talking with Teddy about it or Haley Joel about it,
yeah,
he's like, some of these girls, yeah, they're chunky, but they
put out
this. They're very sexual. I'm like, dude, this girl is fucking.
She's a foxy. She's a minxie cat.
She is foxy. And then when you see her and him sleeping in the same bed, and after the conversation they had, and then she's peeing in front of him. I don't know. I don't know if that's a thing. You know, maybe girls pee in front of their guy friends.
Oh, they definitely do.
You know,
they definitely do. Being married.
You know, I don't know.
Well, it's just you can tell that she's not completely sold on Teddy.
She's definitely not.
She's definitely sold on Wallace just without the cheating.
Yeah, and she wants Wallace to just realize what he has.
Exactly.
She
which
wants
he
to
should.
go with it. He should.
So we agree both ways.
That's kind of the whole thing.
Yes.
I almost felt like that was kind of the whole point of the movie, but it really doesn't circle back around to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't want to get into the end of the movie yet because we have so much further to go with the actual movie. But like. So jumping back to when he gets drugged and passes out, and then he wakes up and he's like, "What? There's no fucking leg there." There's no fucking leg there.
It's just like, fuck, brown recluse.
Dude. And then the guy's like, brown recluse?
Which we have here.
We do.
Which is only like a northern thing. So it makes sense that it's Canada as well. But we don't have many things that are
But
poisonous.
I love that he's still in the wheelchair, just rolling around, saying all this shit.
Yeah.
Well, the doctor, he said it would be safer for you here because...
Yeah,
not as much infection or whatever.
And he's doing his rounds.
He's doing his rounds. We're out in the middle of nowhere. No, we're not in the middle of nowhere. Trust me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? All this shit. So all this stuff happens. And then when they're having dinner, this is really when it comes to a head. Because Justin Long has been thinking about this for hours because it wasn't dark. Now it's dark. We're at a candlelit dinner. And we have fucking Parks talking to him at the table.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you saw the brown recluse. Well, what did it look like? Well, it was just, it had, origin legs and 8 legs. And
yeah. He's like,
it was a little creature,
Yeah.
And then when he said,
yeah, he's like, oh,
and
fuck.
you don't understand why he's gone into, I know it's not PC.
Yeah.
I know it's not PC. And I love this about the movie. There's a little bit of shock factor in it. He goes retard mode.
Yeah.
He goes fucking retard mode, and then you find out why later on when Johnny Depp.
Yes, because he visits him earlier because of Gumtree.
Gumtree, the hockey player.
The hockey player.
Yes.
And you realize that that's like a character he plays.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he has all these
He plays stupid. He plays stupid.
He plays like...
And he gets away with
a
it.
simpleton, as Johnny Depp puts it.
Yeah.
He plays a simpleton. Maybe that's what I should say. He's a simpleton retard.
Yeah. He plays simple, and it's a character he plays, and then obviously you don't get that until later in the movie a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
More of Johnny Depp's whole... Because Johnny Depp... Let's jump to that. I mean, Johnny Depp takes up probably 10, 15 minutes in this scene.
When they first meet him, is that what you're talking about? When they first meet him in the fast food restaurant.
But it's interesting and it's good dialogue. Even you can hardly understand what he's saying,
and it's almost cringy.
Yeah,
it's that cringe-worthy. Like, if you met this dude, you'd be on the border of being like, this dude doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Exactly.
And this dude is just.
But this is who Johnny Depp wanted to play.
I also want to say this: the size of the flask that Johnny Depp pulls out in that scene when he's pouring it into his chocolate milkshake.
Yeah.
Dude, I saw the flask. I was like, holy shit, that is a fucking, that's a 5th pint. I don't know what the fuck.
For sure. It's
that's
huge.
A bottle. That is literally
you can pour a whole 5th in there.
Right. That is literally a bottle of alcohol. And he's like, that's a flask. And he just puts it back into his pocket. And I love that. He's like, well, maybe, and Haley Joel Osment, maybe we should talk to somebody else.
Yeah, no.
No, I don't think it was talk to somebody. You know what I mean? And Depp kills it.
Oh,
he does.
Dude.
He absolutely kills it.
And this is the best part. So I watched an interview. Kevin Smith was at a producers/directors convention.
Mm-hmm.
And they interviewed him, and he was talking about Tusk. And he said, first of all, he's like, for me, this is what's great about Tusk is it really is like, and this is interesting because you're not a fan of a lot of B movies.
No.
Now we've kind of cracked the egg with like the Hatchet series with you.
Agreed.
Because of the shock factor and the gore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not a lot of B movies attract you.
No. You're right. You're right about that.
But this movie...
Do you want to know why, real quick, before you...
Yeah.
Because people don't put their full effort into the whole movie.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
I get it.
I'm being honest,
well,
man.
when you go 3 million compared to
let's
35
not
million,
do this
okay.
again.
When
But
you go
I'm
to
just saying-
$35 million,
I'm just saying,
can,
if you sign on to do something, do your best damn job.
When you go
and
to
that's
30
what I expect.
If you get paid $5 million compared to 500,000, yeah, I get it. Johnny Depp. Okay.
I truly hate you tonight. Let's take a shot.
Johnny Depp.
Cheers to that, you son of a bitch.
You asshole, dude.
Cheers to that. You've had too much tequila tonight.
Cheers to both of us being probably wrong. Someone else in the audience is going to be like, you guys are both wrong.
See, that's not a fake laugh that I just did there. That wasn't a fake laugh.
That's true.
Or was
That's
it?
true.
See, because I put full effort into everything I do.
Yeah, but it might be fake.
Absolutely not.
That was fake as fuck. But it sounded just like the real one. I cheers to that. Maybe that's where Haley Joel Osment goes wrong.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Maybe Justin Long wasn't so bad, but Haley Joel.
Went
he was only
way
in
over
The Sixth Sense and like,
yeah.
fuck you, man. Like,
and Secondhand Lions.
which is a good movie.
I liked Secondhand
It
Lions.
is a good movie, but he didn't give a lot of the drama in that movie.
Wasn't
it was the two uncles.
Big one too? Yeah, the two uncles were the main.
Were way better as far as drama goes.
Absolutely.
We're getting off topic.
Yeah,
let's just
way
take the
off,
fuck
way off.
Let's not talk
Cheers.
about that movie.
Cheers. I love Secondhand Lions.
Great movie. But Haley Joel was not the one that gave the performance. He was second hand in that, which I beg to differ with.
He was third
The
hand.
Sixth Sense. He was top two.
Who were the two uncles in that?
I can't remember, but they're big actors.
Robert Duvall was one of them, wasn't it? Was Robert Duvall one of them?
Maybe. Don't look it up. Don't
have to.
fucking
I
look
have
it up.
to
No,
know.
this is about Tusk. Let's get
Okay,
back
yes.
to what we were
Okay,
fucking
keep
talking
keep
about.
talking.
What were we talking about?
Keep talking. Obviously, we're talking about something.
Fuck. This is what the tequila does to you.
Anyways, let's just pick it up. We were talking about Johnny Depp. We were talking about Haley Joel Osment.
Oh, well, I was getting into Kevin Smith at a director's producers convention.
Michael Caine.
Okay. Fucking A. Okay, yeah.
And Robert Duvall.
Hey, if you want to listen to this episode, go watch Secondhand Lions.
Secondhand Lions.
Oh,
Haley
God.
Joel Osment puts a hell of a performance.
Yeah.
No fake laughing.
Good Lord. He doesn't have to laugh once in that movie.
I bet he does. You want to bet on it?
Actually, yeah.
With the lion. If Haley Joel
He doesn't laugh
in
once in that movie. He's completely depressed.
What do you want to bet? $100?
$100, but it goes
we're putting
to the charity of my choice. No, it goes to the if I bet it, whatever we bet, $100 goes to the podcast fund.
Oh, so either way, yeah, we're just putting $100 into the podcast fund.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty good, I think, right?
So you owe $100 to the podcast fund.
Oh, okay. We'll see.
Because I own that movie. I love it. I watch it probably like 3 times.
I'm going to see if you own it. No, I'm just kidding. So back to the producers, directors convention. It was kind of cool, you know. Kevin Smith said, "Hey, first of all, he didn't have anybody to fund this movie." So he was like, I'm going to put him and his wife, he was podcasting full time at this point. So podcasting was getting big, and he was saying, hey, I'm going to take the podcast, Smodcast and all that shit on the road. So they were doing like live shows and all that stuff. So he wasn't directing as much. He had done Zack and Miri Make a Porno and Cop Out were the last two. So that was the first time that he had done movies that he didn't write. And Universal was like, "Hey, do this movie."
And you almost
it was big time. Like Cop Out was like $35 million,
right? And they almost hold you over a barrel. Your own creative,
which is why which is where the love for me for Kevin Smith comes in, because he said this is the first time that like I said I would never. I said I would. Here's where he kind of admits it. He says, "I said to myself I would never direct a movie that I didn't write." Mm-hmm. Because then the love for it is, and the imagination and creativity is lost.
Right.
But he had stopped making movies, and Universal said, hey, we're going to give you a bunch of money, and who's going to say no to a bunch of money? Come on. If Worm hits big and someone says we're going to give you $10,000, the movie's going to cost $5,000. You guys get to split.
And you know what I'd say? I wouldn't get the bed out of bed for $2,500. That's what I'd say if my heart was not into it.
Yeah, but you do for $10,000. You do get out of bed. No, you get out of bed for $25,000.
You said $10,000, $5,000 of it goes to the budget, and then you split the rest. So that's $2,500 a piece.
Well, so you get out of bed for it.
I wouldn't get out of bed for $2,500.
So you're saying if someone came to us and said we're going to give you $10,000 for a movie, you wouldn't do it?
And they had the influence over it, and they had the creative.
Oh, if they wrote the script, absolutely. No, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you.
Okay, yeah. If we have control over it, fine.
Absolutely.
If we have control over it, fine. If you have control over it,
I totally agree.
you.
But
Get bent, you motherfucker.
But think about it.
Think
about it in a bigger scale.
Agreed. I understand what you're saying.
He has Harley at this point. He has his wife. He wants to buy a big house, right? So someone offers you $35 million, they're going to pay you $6 million.
Right.
I mean, if you're not making millions of dollars at that point, and someone says you're going to make millions of dollars off this movie, whether it does bad or not,
right,
you're probably going to be like, all right, fuck it, let me try it out and see if it goes well. And it doesn't for 2 movies. Well, Zack and Miri Make a Porno did all right.
It was okay
because of Seth Rogen.
And what's her name there? The blondie.
But she's great. She's great. She's great.
You sexist piece of shit! You don't even know her
Yeah,
name.
but Zach Kevin Smith even puts Jason Mewes in it. He's in it, which is hilarious. Yeah. But he does those 2 movies, and he actually makes a lot of money. The movies Zack and Miri does pretty good, but show the camera. I'm looking. Make sure they can see it.
We got a Chucky glass.
No,
here.
Make it closer. Child's Play. That's.
This was a gift for the podcast.
It's very cool. It's a lot bigger than just a shot.
But, yeah, no, I'm not doing shots.
So he makes a bunch of money off these 2, but the movies don't do that well. So he stops. He goes to podcasting and does really well with live on the road. He has a lot more fun, makes a lot less money, but has a lot more fun with what he's doing.
And if you have creative influence on all that, even if you make less money, I feel like that's more important because.
Yeah,
I believe in myself. I believe in us. I believe in you. You know what I mean? We have talked about projects that we have wanted to do in the past. And if somebody offered us a shit ton of money to do it, but they had influence over the whole thing. Yeah, I would have a real fucking hard time with that.
Yeah, it's kind of.
But if somebody offered us
a bunch of money to do something we created,
and then they say
that's
you take
story.
the reins and you do it the way you guys want to do it. I feel like I know sometimes the box office wouldn't want it because I love shock factor. Yeah, and you love your
but that's
own.
Okay,
you know what I mean? But but some people wouldn't want to do that, and they wouldn't. It's too
well. This is going to come full circle. This is going to come full circle. So. Just start at where I'm talking about. Kevin Smith has done these podcasts and he's going live. So picture me and you where someone gives us a shit ton of money. Say we've already made a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. And obviously anybody offers us anything, we're going to take it right off the bat because me and you aren't rich.
Speak for yourself, motherfucker. I'm rich as shit.
I'm not. I'm going to take the money. Every time. I got a son and a wife to support.
And you would fake laugh your fucking ass off.
Absolutely. 100%. Because I'm beating the system at that point. I don't care what I got to do. I'm good with that. I'm good with that.
Sad.
Fuck it.
The human spirit can't be contained.
No, because if I do that one project, I can fund all my projects after that. I'll take the hit.
Okay.
I'll take the hit. I don't give a shit.
I hear you there.
I don't give a shit, man. I'm beating the man at that point. You want to give me all that money to do fucking bullshit?
Yeah, so
I'll do it all day.
I'll dance for you. I'll be a dance monkey for one movie, and then I can do my own thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, I agree with you there.
So
we're on the same page there.
Yeah. So take it in consideration when we're talking about Zack and Miri Make a Porno and Cop Out. Terrible movies. Well, Zack and Miri I like, but not a huge following, right? Both kind of box office failures.
Definitely.
Zack and Miri not as much just because of Seth Rogen at that point. He
you
was
had Bruce
big
Willis
at that point.
and the other one.
Yeah, and Kevin Hart, but it didn't do as good as Zack and Miri did.
You don't think so?
No, Zack and Miri made more. I know for a fact.
You know for a fact?
Yeah. Look it up.
You look it up.
I already did. Look it up.
You
made way more money.
You give me the figures.
Anything with Seth Rogen makes way more money, dude. And Justin Long was in that movie as well.
So keep talking because I'm looking it up. You son of a bitch.
So he kind of cops out. No, obviously not referring to Cop Out, but he cops out with those 2 movies. And then he takes his podcast on the road and makes less money. So look at it from me and you's point of view. If someone say we've already made money, right? And someone offers us a bunch of money to do one thing, but then someone else comes along and says, "Yo, you're only gonna make $2 million compared to $10 million." but you're going to be able to go on the road and talk about all your favorite movies that you're a fan of.
Right.
I'm a fan
and
first.
You're not restricted to anything.
Exactly. I'm a fan first. I would rather do that, right? Just like Kevin Smith did. I'm going to go on the road. He loved Marvel movies, comic book movies, all that shit, and he did that shit on the road. So I would do the same thing, where I would make less money, where my wife probably wouldn't be happy because I'm making less money, but I'm doing what I love, right? Then comes the opportunity. You do this podcast where you say, okay, I have this idea for a movie, but no one's going to fund it, right? So I'm going to say, but I want to do this movie really bad.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right here, okay?
Okay.
Because I just actually looked up the numbers.
Okay.
And if I wasn't right, I wouldn't be stopping you.
Okay.
So Zach and Miri Make a Porno.
Yeah.
$42.8 million brought in the box office. Okay.
$2 million less for Cop Out, maybe.
$42.8 million for Zach and Miri.
But
I said
$2 million less?
I said Cop Out would be better, right?
Yeah, you did. You said it would make more money.
$55.6 million in the box office.
But how much did he get paid?
We're not talking. We're talking about box office
Well, no,
money.
you're right. From the question, you're right.
That is $13 or $12.2 million more.
You're right. So there's a little bit of difference of what I'm saying. Is you're right. The movie made more because of Bruce Willis and Kevin Hart, but
absolutely.
But
and that's what I'm
Kevin
saying.
Smith made less on Cop Out than he did Zach and Miri.
You're damn right, because Bruce Willis is the man. And he brought more to the box office than Kevin. That was before Kevin Hart was Kevin Hart. I mean, let's be honest.
But that's besides the point. What I'm saying is Kevin Smith made less money.
So now you're changing the conversation.
No, you're completely right. You're completely right. You're completely right.
Right. Okay.
You're right in that sense.
Cheers to that. You've had way too much tequila. That's.
No. No. This is completely factual. You're right. You're correct. But Kevin Smith made more money on Zach and Miri, I think.
Absolutely.
Even though the movie made less money.
Because there was probably less of a budget on Zach and Miri Make a Porno. Absolutely. Because you're paying porn stars to come into that. You're paying you're paying Seth Rogen and you're paying...
Yeah,
what the fuck is her
something
name?
Morgan. Something Morgan.
What the fuck is her name?
It's something Morgan. I can't remember her name.
Elizabeth Banks.
No. That's not the porno girl.
No. Oh, Katie Morgan.
Katie Morgan, exactly. Yeah. But you're paying way less for that movie because you're paying...
Yeah, you're paying Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks over Kevin Hart and Bruce Willis.
And it's the Seth Rogen, Adam Sandler effect where you have Jason Mewes in there for less money.
Right, absolutely.
Justin Long for less money.
You have your friends coming in and doing little cameos.
You're paying for Seth
stuff.
Rogen and Elizabeth Banks, pretty much.
That's
so
you're also paying porn stars to suck the cast off.
But not really. But probably not really. There's no way she's sucking Jason Mewes off. Jason Mewes has a wife. You are completely right that Cop Out made more money, but Kevin Smith probably made less, is what I'm saying. So put that in context where he goes on the road, he does those two movies, has a terrible time, which me and you would also have a terrible time because we don't get to have any say in those movies.
You know what? If I was
just like Rob Zombie doesn't have any say in the Halloween franchise. Dude. Seriously, no.
Yeah, his original was great.
But he has no say. He has no say. He has no say.
He had his twist. He had his,
but not much.
No, you agree. I agree with you there.
So Kevin Smith does what me and you would do. We would rather go on the road and make a couple mil doing live shows of the podcast, of Home of Horror podcast. Right. Now, if me and you both had wives, they would be like...
Wait, is that a shot at me? Because I don't have a...
Not at all. Hypothetical.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
No, I truly believe that you're a great dude and you're going to have a wife.
I appreciate that, dude. You're a real nice guy.
Yeah, you're a great person. I love you.
Here's a shot.
Okay, sounds great. But what I'm saying is he did what he wanted to do creatively.
Absolutely.
He loves the Avengers movies, the comic book movies.
To me, if you're financially stable...
Yeah.
If you are financially stable and you're not worried about anything, you're not worried about your kids, you're not worried about your grandkids, because Kevin Smith is. I mean, we can talk all we want. He was going to put his house up.
Yeah.
All this shit. He still had plenty of financial backing behind him.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? To make this movie.
Well,
he still had plenty of financial backing. If it came down to a studio coming up to us and saying, you guys can make the movie that you wrote, me and you wrote.
Yeah.
And we'll give you this much money, but we have superiority over everything that you do.
Yeah.
We have the final be all, end all, say all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We wouldn't do that. We would totally we would take less money to have our own creative spin on it. And say, fuck you. Yeah. Fuck the man.
And I think if Kevin Smith could rewind, he would do that from the get-go.
Agreed.
But he had done his own stuff and then got the opportunity to make a bunch of money for 2 films.
Yeah.
And then stopped it immediately and was like, I'm going to go on the road with the podcast.
Yeah.
Does the podcast
comes up with this gem.
Exactly.
It is a gem. It
exactly.
Really is.
And here's the crazy thing is he had been out of the directing game for a while. And everybody wanted...
Why does he always wear the jersey?
He's a hockey fan.
I get it, but
loves hockey.
I get it. Is that a shtick?
No. He legitimately loves hockey.
But is it a shtick?
No.
Do you love basketball? Do you wear a basketball jersey every day?
Oh, I have tons.
I love football, but I don't wear my Tom Brady jersey every day.
You're telling me, but if you were on a comic book man with millions of listeners, that you wouldn't rock a Tom Brady jersey, or at least have a Tom Brady poster in the background,
I would have a Tom
or
Brady
talk
poster.
about Tom Brady at
We've
least
talked
a little
about Tom
bit.
Brady in this podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying,
so it's the same thing. He's from New Jersey, has ties with, or he might even be from Canada, New Jersey. Canada,
I was
New
going to
Jersey
ask you
are
that.
big.
I was going to look it up, and then I was like, oh, JT will know. Is he from Canada, or is he from Jersey?
I think he's...
Because it's very...
He has ties to both either way.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. He loves hockey. So that's his whole shtick. He's always been about what he loves, which me and you can agree. If I could wear a Kevin Garnett Celtics jersey everywhere I went, if I had millions of views, I would all the time. But what I'm saying is he had the opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to make this film, this Tusk film, and no one wanted to fund it. So he said, I'm going to put up my house.
Right.
Kevin Smith he was going to put up his house.
Born in Jersey, by the way.
He was gonna put up his house, dude, for this film. And his wife was down with it. She's like, I'm down with it. Let's put up the house for this film.
We'll put up this house.
Simply because he loved it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's love right there.
Yeah, no, you know what it is? She says, yes, you do what you want, baby. You put it up. I love you. I trust you. I support you.
Well,
and then she says, if we lose the house, we'll move to the one in Malibu. You
know what the honest conversation was, though, with this interview is he said on air, not kidding you, in this convention, he said, I wanted to become a director again because my wife wanted to fuck a director. He literally said that. Like a podcaster was like,
is his wife a fox?
Whatever. No. I don't want to be like that to Kevin Smith, but no. She's in all of his movies. She was the diner that served Johnny Depp in the movie.
Oh, really?
That was
her.
No,
she's not a fox.
But Kevin Smith isn't a fox either. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but he's a millionaire.
Kind of. Not by much.
Oh, my God.
Not by much. I love Kevin Smith. If he watched this, he would agree. He would laugh his ass off. But what I'm saying is he was like, okay, I'm going to fund this movie myself. Mm-hmm. And then he had a production company come to him. I can't remember the name. And they said, they met with him at his house. And he said, are you serious about this Walrus movie? And he said, oh yeah, I'm funding it myself. Like, I'm going to make this movie. Like,
one way or another,
he said, if I have to put on my house, I'm going to make this movie. And they said, that's crazy, man. They were like, we have a flush fund, they called it.
A flush fund?
A flush fund, which is production companies. Let's
flush this shot of tequila down.
So a flush fund is, the production company said, we have a flush fund where we finance the back end of a bunch of big Hollywood movies, $15-20 million.
So
So they fund those types of movies, between $15 and $20 million, and then they put all their access money away into a fund called the Flush Fund. So they back $15-20 million movies, right?
That seems really high.
That is really no, but they're a good company. But they came to him and they said, "Well, we have $2 or $3 million put away in our Flush Fund, so we want to fund this movie."
Right.
And he was like, "Are you serious? Like, you want to? This is a Walrus horror movie." You want to put money into this? No. Listen, this is what they said. This is what they said. They said, he said, "Really? This is what you want to do?" And they said, "Yeah, we'll put money into this because here's the main."
Because they believed in him.
This is what you want out of a production company. They said, "Listen, with foreign market sales and all this, we'll make the $3 million no matter what.
Absolutely.
And if we make a profit, that's okay."
Great.
And he said, and they said this, which is brilliant. They said, if it doesn't, if you just break even, we get to watch it.
Right.
Seriously. They were like, we get to just watch this crazy fucked up Walrus movie.
And I have to be honest with you. I showed my parents to this. I showed my...
I love it.
I
understand.
I showed my parents this when it first came out.
Tusk?
Yes.
Oh,
and they were like, because I was like, oh, this is a true story. This is all because in the beginning he says this is based on actual events, which it is because of the podcast. And so he's not lying.
No.
So we're watching this movie and the whole thing unfolds and the fucking walrus scenes.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
It's really good.
Like,
it's
dude,
all practical.
It's. I was just gonna say that there is no CGI in this movie, and there's great dialogue. There's fucking, and like I know we're kind of skimming over when Johnny Depp goes and sees.
Okay, everybody that's listening to this, hopefully, no spoilers. Well, spoilers.
No spoilers.
Spoilers.
I mean, yes. No.
If you've watched this far,
this
fucking hey, what are you doing? But
we've been drunkenly.
Everybody who's watching at this point has seen the movie.
And when you see it, and when you actually see Justin Long in the wall,
yeah, seriously, it's disturbing.
It is disturbing.
Yeah,
it truly is disturbing because you actually almost put yourself in his position, where I mean, in the leg cut off, you're almost like, whoa, what the fuck? And then when the guy stands up at the table and all that shit,
you're like, oh, he's not in a wheelchair.
He's not in a wheelchair. It's all been a ploy. The whole thing's been a con. It's the long con. All this shit.
Now we're cutting a lot out just because we know our listeners have seen the movie.
If you're listening to this, you've seen the fucking movie.
We wanted to go in more of the behind the scenes of the movie a little bit, and our interpretation of things and how Kevin Smith handled everything.
Absolutely.
So obviously, if you're watching right now, you understand what the movie's about. So we didn't go too far into that.
It wasn't a deep dive into the movie.
No, and we're trying to get away from that a little bit because we understand that the audience has seen these movies and don't want to hear it scene for scene.
Exactly.
So keep going.
Yeah,
man. Keep going.
And like when you see the walrus scenes. And when you actually see him in costume, it is disturbing. And when he goes underwater and he says, well, a walrus can swim.
Yeah. And he's forcing him to.
And you see the chain pull him down under the water. And it's almost like Justin Long wants to give up. You know what I mean? And he wants to die.
But it's like life.
And then he goes under the water and he sees all the other walruses that have died.
Possibly Gumtree.
Possibly Gumtree.
Well, we want to think that Gumtree was at a different location, but same type of situation.
But
right?
yes, so what was it when Depp's talking about it? It's like 26 people that 26 people.
He's by far
26 people that died.
It's almost we pick up the story as if sorry. we pick up with the story that Justin Long, or AKA Wallace, is not. He's almost the perfected victim, right? Like this is
how
where
great
he
is
kind
that his name is Wallace.
Brilliant, and they come up with that in the podcast episode.
And it's beautiful.
Wallace. Oh my god,
Wallace the Walrus.
But
It's beautiful.
We kind of decipher through everything that like this is his when, like you said, when he goes underwater, he sees the other walrus skulls and
he almost wants to live at that point. Like he wants to die, and then he sees that, and he wants to live.
He's traumatized even more somehow.
And like the biggest, okay, let's just jump to the fucking end. Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
And when they're gearing up, guns outside.
Yeah.
And fucking Johnny Depp says, You were talking to me about this earlier with.
He says, "Here's a gun." He gives both Genesis and Haley Joel Osment, so Teddy and I can't remember her
Teddy
name.
and Anna.
I can never Anna.
Yeah.
So he says, "Here are your guns," and they're just like some Glocks, right? And they say, "Oh, I don't want them." And it's like, well, first of all, if you're us, right, you're saying like, well, you want to defend your friend, like
Absolutely.
this is the time. Like even if you
It's time
never
to go
used
in.
a firearm, this is the time.
If there's ever
they
a
said,
time,
"Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that." And and Johnny Depp's character, Guy Lapointe,
dude, and
says, "What type of American are you?
I love that.
What type of American are
fucking
you? You
love
never hold
that,
a firearm." And,
Right.
and Haley Joel Osment says the worst line you can say as an American: "I'm the type that has never handled a firearm."
Oh God,
which
you
is-
know how I am. Dude.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool because it's like, oh yeah,
Because there are
makes sense.
these people.
Makes sense.
There are these people in America, and if you're listening to it and you've never handled a firearm,
But it's also cool. It's also cool that like it's from the Canadian perspective of being like, you're an American.
and you've never had, because they think everybody
So
has
it's
a gun in America.
it's the
because
it's
there's so
the,
many
it's the
guns.
stereotype, right?
Right. Yeah, I don't like being stereotyped.
But in this sense,
And
kind of.
And I almost hate jumping over the scene with him and when he's like, I got a brown recluse in my store today.
Yeah, but if you've seen the movie, like
and
everybody
I-
has,
and
you
I-
understand. Because we touched on it
because he had been there, he had caught him. He could have got
gotten
got
him,
Gumtree.
the one that got away.
He could have got Gumtree.
Yeah.
He knew he could have.
That's the whole point of Johnny Depp's role.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Johnny Depp, by the way, was someone who Kevin Smith.
And now Johnny Depp is coming in, guns blazing.
At the end.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm
end.
saying.
So
at the end.
But what we're missing is that what I was trying to get to before was Johnny Depp his daughter went to school with Haley Quinn Smith, who was Kevin's daughter.
Right.
So Kevin,
which one was
Kevin
that? Was that the
knew
blonde or was that the little one?
The blonde,
That was
the
the
big
blonde.
the big blonde.
Yeah.
And little blonde was Johnny Depp's daughter.
Really?
How
I don't know how old they were.
not old.
Yeah, I take that.
Probably probably 18, but you know what I mean.
Should I take that back?
Yes, just take it back for.
You know what? I don't
references.
take it back.
But so
that wasn't a fake laugh, by the way.
But the backstory is that Kevin Smith's daughter went to school with Johnny Depp's daughter, and so Kevin Smith became acquainted with Johnny Depp.
John Depp.
But he never wanted to ask him to be in any type of creative outlet or story.
Right, and you had told me the
business
story.
aspect.
Yes.
Yes. He never wanted him to be like that. He just wanted to be friends with him.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want to be friends with Johnny Depp? The last thing you want to do is ask him to be in your project, right?
Absolutely, especially if it's a movie like this.
Yeah.
It's not fucking Pirates of the Caribbean.
So this is a really cool story. So
I love it.
They were trying to find someone to play Guy Lapointe. And they were like, who are we going to find? So the first person they texted to be Guy Lapointe is Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
Was the first one.
Right.
So Kevin Smith was friends with Quentin.
Yeah.
And he was like, Quentin will be in fucking anything. Because he's in fucking From Dusk Till Dawn. He's in all his movies and shit. He'll make cameos. He wants to play those weird roles, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, Quentin will definitely do this. So he hit up Quentin, sent him the script, and he was like, this is who you're playing. And Quentin texted back and was like, no, I'm not doing this. And come to find out, the reason he said no was because Quentin thought that the person he was playing was Justin Long's character.
Oh,
so it was going to be a full feature acting gig.
Right.
He thought he was going to be that guy that turned into
He was an actor at this point.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he was
He
like,
wasn't- he
I
wasn't
can't
more-
do. He
right.
was kind of like, I can't do that, man. And so, in hindsight, Quentin probably would have done Guy Lapointe, but
I'm kind of glad he didn't.
yeah.
Like,
so
honestly.
at the very end, they were like, "Who the fuck are we gonna get to play this? We're gonna do like more because this was the end of shooting. They didn't do these shots until like December of that year. So like all of the other film was filmed. You know, Justin Long was a wrap. Haley Joel Osment was a wrap. Michael Parks was a wrap, and they were going back to Hollywood to film these scenes, and they were like, "Fuck, who are we gonna get to play this guy? They only have this many lines. Like, who are we gonna get to play this?" And finally, Kevin Smith was like, "I'm gonna hit up Johnny Depp,
Right.
like, and just
see what happens.
see what happens."
Well,
and he texted him and he said, "You know, I have this role. It's a really weird, off type of role, very creative
It's not
role.
a Johnny Depp role.
It's not a Johnny
It's
Depp
not a Johnny
role.
Depp role.
But like." He didn't say that, but he was like, "Do you have any interest in playing this role?"
Mm-hmm.
It's a very few lines. Like in the context of the movie, it's kind of like he has like 10 minutes of screen time, but I feel like it's because Johnny Depp kind of stretched it out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Maybe.
Well, in the dialogue scenes, even in the diner scene, in the scene where he's with Parker, all this, those are long scenes.
Yeah, but I think it's because Johnny Depp made them long.
Agreed.
He was like, "I'm gonna drag out this dialogue and make the character as best as he can."
And Parker was also part of that because he played such a good role. He played a different character.
But even just in the fast food
fast
restaurant,
yes.
like it's still like quite a bit of a role.
Yes, but that also is Parker because he's like, I think I caught him once.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They had that whole backstory, right?
The whole
right.
backstory, you get that whole thing.
So Kevin Smith texted Johnny Depp, and then he said, and this is, by the way, this is back to the whole what I was talking about Kevin Smith being on this directors/producers convention, and he's giving producers. Sorry, we've had a lot of tequila. It's almost gone, by the way. We said it was going to be here. It's here.
Well, cheers to that, buddy.
Cheers to that, buddy.
Cheers to that,
Let's
buddy.
do another one. See if we can fucking finish the episode.
We'll finish it, buddy. Don't you worry.
So, man, that's good. That's really good.
Well, tequila's never bad, man.
Tequila's never. Well,
Jose, we ain't drank Jose.
you can have some. Well, I don't like gold tequila as much as I like silver.
You don't like gold.
So,
Hornito's gold, though.
Still,
I know.
If I'm gonna go gold, I'll go El Toro, which is wild. But it's the only gold I like. It's the only gold I like, dude. It's weird. It's really weird. But with the little sombrero hat,
I know you just love it.
We used to have El Toro nights in college where we'd buy only El Toro.
Well, it's because it's
cheap,
right?
But anyway, so he hit up Johnny Depp to play this role, and he was like, he sent it to him, and he didn't hear back for a long time.
Right.
And Kevin Smith was like, "Oh fuck!" Like, because now you're balancing between work and like your personal life, where like, oh, I have all these people I work with,
right?
And like Johnny Depp is like a friend I have outside of work,
right?
Because
we're almost acquaintances at this point.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like,
even more than that, like they're almost friends at this. They're friends at this point.
Right.
Where they're like, oh, it has nothing to do with work, because if you're Kevin Smith, that's the right move. You're like, you don't want to pressure Johnny Depp. The last thing you want to do is
love
be like,
or hate Johnny Depp. He's played some banging roles.
Every role,
or hate him,
and he's the last person you want to be like, oh, be in my movie. Right? You want to.
Right.
You would rather be friends with Johnny Depp, because at that point,
I would love to party with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, but even
and I'm
then,
not even a huge Johnny Depp
and you
guy.
get a personal relationship with Johnny Depp,
Absolutely.
and then he's in every movie you want him to be in because he
absolutely.
loves you. That's the type of guy he is.
Has he been in a movie with Kevin Smith, or that Kevin Smith has
Before
produced
this?
Sense?
Before this?
No, Sense.
Oh yeah. So I'll get into that. So he says he texts John. He texts Johnny Depp, and he says,
John Depp, yeah.
I have this role. Check it out. I'll send you the script. He sends him the script. He doesn't hear from Johnny Depp. And he's like, oh, fuck. I ruined my
Our
relationship.
friendship, right,
This whole time I've been like, let's not ask him to be in this so I can be his friend because like
Right.
he's a cool guy, right? I'm sure Johnny Depp is a cool fucking guy to be around, right?
Right.
And he says, "Oh, I fucked it up." And then like a day later, maybe not even a day later, he sees the 3 dots.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh my God, Johnny Depp's fucking writing back." Right?
Right.
And then Johnny Depp writes back, "I'm very intrigued by this role. Send me more. Let's do this." And he's like, "Holy fuck." So he gets Johnny Depp to be this role, and the only thing Johnny Depp is like, yeah, like there's no payment involved except
Right.
for like, he's like, I want my makeup artist to come along with me to do this
And
character.
Johnny Depp had a lot of makeup in this movie.
Exactly.
The nose,
Oh
the
yeah.
chin,
Oh yeah.
the,
Well,
everything.
Johnny Depp just walking around, period. A lot of makeup.
Well, literally, me and my buddy were watching this movie the first time, and he was like, "Is that Johnny Depp?" And I was like, "I'm pretty sure that's fucking Johnny Depp."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm pretty
Definitely
sure that's Johnny Depp.
Definitely Johnny Depp.
And then in the second scene that he's in, you're like, "Oh yeah, no, that's definitely Johnny Depp." I think it's the diner
But
scene,
even Johnny Depp walking on the street has makeup on. So
Right,
like Johnny Depp is like,
well, he probably has
will you-
makeup on because his wife beat the shit out of him or something.
Well, this is even before. Like Johnny Depp has just been like a yeah. What's her name? Is a terrible
Amber Heard.
person. Yeah,
Amber-
fuck her, dude.
I would fuck her for sure.
No, fuck her.
No, I would fuck her for sure. Yeah, no, you're 100%.
No,
I agree with you, dude.
No, this
Yeah,
is
fuck her.
No, that's a fucked up situation because she's getting money because of what she did to Johnny Depp, and no one knows it's roles reversed.
I think I might be in love with that girl.
Okay, well, whatever. Well, she beat up Johnny Depp, and everybody thinks Johnny Depp beat up her, which is it. Literally, he has evidence of the
Agreed.
exact opposite.
Agreed.
And I don't care where you stand. I'm all for women's rights, and if a woman
100%.
gets beat up, I'm there for them. But this is the other way around. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'd let Amber Heard beat me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but if you're Johnny Depp, is Amber Heard the one you're letting beat up?
I'd let her beat me up.
No, I'll let Jennifer Aniston beat me up, maybe.
Yeah, I'd let her beat me up too. I'd let both of them beat me up at the same time.
I'd let Jennifer Aniston beat me up way more than I'd let Amber Heard beat me up.
I mean,
So anyway, so he was like, yeah, let's do this. The only thing I need you to do is like, can you pay for my makeup guy?
right. That's the whole
and
thing,
Kevin
yeah.
Smith was like,
Fuck yeah.
you have a makeup? You want me to pay for your makeup guy? And Johnny Depp was like, oh, Johnny Depp has a makeup guy.
Right,
And he's like making fun of himself, which is hilarious. So that was the only thing that
Do you
went
think
into
Johnny
that.
Depp's a down to earth guy?
I think he is.
I think he would be.
I think he likes
honestly.
to spend. Here's what I think: I think people take him.
I think
too
he's a weirdo.
seriously.
I think he's a weirdo, but at the same time, I think he's
If you're
like
that
a down.
famous,
He's a
if you're
down to
that-
earth guy. At the
I
same
don't even
time.
think he's that weird. I think he's like creative and artistic, and like he likes to spend his money
Absolutely.
in weird ways.
Yeah, no.
because he has so much of
Yeah.
it. So fuck everybody. Like whatever.
Cheers to that.
Every role Johnny Depp has been in, I love. I don't give a shit.
Cheers.
He used a Nightmare on Elm Street.
He wasn't. Cheers to Nightmare on Elm Street. Even though Victor
first
Kyle
couple.
Even though
Yeah,
Victor
just the
Kyle
first
is
couple.
better.
Anyway, we get to the end of the movie, and it's fucked up. There's a walrus in a zoo. First of all,
No. You got to get to where he kills Parks.
No, that's no. First of all,
he's got to.
I understand where you're coming from, but we've drank a lot of tequila, and we're an hour and 20 minutes in.
I have to get you to be that mentality.
We gotta end this bullshit.
Oh, we gotta end it.
So no, you're right. Obviously,
that's a huge part of
he
the
kills
movie.
Parks.
He
but
kills
everybody
Parks.
knows that. Everybody knows that.
And the way he does it, it's brutal.
great.
And then his buddies roll in. Johnny Depp, fucking
Haley Joel Osment, Teddy.
Teddy, Annie,
Yeah.
Anna.
Yeah.
They
Genesis.
roll in, and then we.
Genesis actor name. Sorry, Minxie Cat. But yeah, we get to.
Why
that
would you
scene.
not shoot that motherfucker?
That's my problem.
That's the biggest issue
it's
with
not
the
my
whole
it's
thing.
no, it's not my
That's the
problem
biggest
with the
thing.
movie because
I'm telling you what, JT, if you ever walk in and you see me in a walrus fucking
Yeah.
suit,
Oh.
blow my fucking head off.
Oh, I told my
okay?
wife the same thing.
Blow
I said, if
my
if
head
I'm a
off.
fucking walrus, shoot me in the face.
Yep,
But that's
kill
the
me.
brilliance of the movie and Kevin Smith.
Absolutely.
Is take
That
it a little
is
bit further.
It's shock factor, baby.
Yeah.
It's shock factor, baby.
Yeah.
And that's what I
Take
love
it a
about
little bit further.
But kill me. And you know what I love about it?
For sure.
You know what I love about this movie? They didn't do it because that's shock factor, baby. That's shock factor, baby.
Make him like you have him suffer in this weird.
You have him suffer.
And the whole time
because
you're watching-
And you want to know why he's suffering? Because he got road dome from some fucking chick. And
Seriously.
he was with
It's
chunky,
like-
he was with some chunky girls. and he had a hot fucking girl at home.
Yeah.
And then
It's
you
like
have
karma.
And then you
It's
have
karma.
It's definitely karma. It's all about karma. And then you got Haley Joel, who barely says a word to him. You don't have to hide from us, Wallace.
Yeah, but it's also karma for him. It's karma for all the characters. Because for Haley Joel, it's like, oh, I know that
he had
like,
won at that point, though. He had won. He had beat his
But
boy
like I
out.
said, if you were to continue the story, there's no way he ends up with that girl.
You don't think so?
No, she's too hot. She
She's too
goes
fucking hot
way
for him.
farther.
I agree with that.
She gets over it within like 3 years, and she's like, "Whoa, like
What
you're
the fuck was I
nothing
ever
now."
doing with this chunky bitch?
No, she
I'd
goes
rather,
like this.
I'd
She
rather
goes,
be as Wallace
first
than
of all,
Walrus.
yeah. She goes, now without Wallace, you're nothing.
Yeah,
No one cares about the podcast.
See, that's what I'm wondering too.
Yeah.
Was he a success after
So if
Wallace?
if you no,
you don't think so?
no,
So that'd be like
Well-
me,
well-
that'd be like me and you. If you
No.
if you lost me, it would be nothing.
well, no, because first of all, we don't know that because we're not on that level. But if you look at
I was
no,
a joke.
No, but
It
even
was-
look at the storyline.
It was a bad joke.
But even look at the storyline. Like he's the one that goes and does all the interviews.
Absolutely, and he stays at home. Yeah,
So without him, you're nothing.
the Nazi party.
You're nothing without him, though, because he does all the work.
I feel like you're nothing without each other. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And
that's proven in both aspects of the characters.
Absolutely. And then I feel like you're probably right. You're probably right. Like that runs its course. Yes,
It runs its
he
course,
made her feel great.
Yeah,
he made
even
her
in the
feel
beginning,
pretty.
She's like, I don't even
And-
even in the beginning with her dialogue, she's in a roundabout way of saying like, I don't really want to be with you, but you make me feel better
you make me
about
feel
myself.
pretty. You make me
Yeah.
feel beautiful again.
Yeah, you make me feel better about myself.
And she goes, "Go brush your teeth." and then he goes brushes his teeth. And you know what he
Yeah.
doesn't do? He doesn't answer the call.
Which is
I'll tell you
fucked
what,
up.
if you're ever fucking around on me with a girlfriend of mine and
Me,
you fuck you,
I
motherfucker.
have a wife.
I'm saying,
No, I get what you're saying.
and I call you,
I
answer
better
the phone because I could be a walrus.
Well, first of all, I ain't
could
doing
be a
that.
walrus.
That's bad
dude.
friends right there.
That's bad friends.
That's bad friends.
dude. Haley Joel Osment, bad friend.
Bad friend.
Bad friend. High five.
Well, that's where it comes full circle in the triangle, the trifecta of those three characters is
Absolutely.
obviously
yeah.
Wallace is a dipshit
There's a
of
lot to
person
it.
because he has a great girlfriend.
Great girlfriend.
So
Great friend.
Connect that. Great
Great
girlfriend.
girlfriend. Good friend. I would say great friend.
Yeah.
Because like
Well, not in the context
I know,
of everything.
I know, but
But
he
in the
doesn't-
sense where he
doesn't know
tries,
that.
he tries to
but
be
he
like.
but he doesn't know that it's not a
No,
great
I know,
friend.
I know.
You know
I
what
know.
I'm saying?
Yeah. But in the context of everything, you're saying girlfriend who loves him, who is a sleazebag because she's sleeping with his
Your
best
buddy,
friends,
right?
And he's a dirtbag because he's sleeping with everybody on the road. But he's a good friend to this guy. But this
Right.
guy's not a good friend because he's sleeping with his girlfriend.
Right.
So it's a total back and forth.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's a trifecta of terrible people. Everybody
And they
gets
all
what they
deserve what
deserve.
they get. Yeah.
And that's why the movie's brilliant. And it makes you feel throughout the whole movie,
but,
especially those last half hour.
I'll be honest, JT. If I was fucking around with your girl, and then you became a walrus, and I saw you,
Dude.
I'd blow your fucking head off.
I hope so, man.
And vice versa. I hope
That's not what I want. I do not want to be a walrus, if anything, in this world. I will say that. I do not want to be a walrus.
But vice versa. I hope
Yes.
you would.
I would blow your head off. Yes. No matter what's going on in the trifecta,
Absolutely. Blow my fucking head off.
I don't want to
Just
be in the
finish this.
trifecta anymore.
Don't be feeding me mackerel. Don't come to me a year later and throw me a mackerel.
The movie ends brilliantly with like the soulful song.
Oh yes, dude, and some of the music in it when they're fighting, when him and Parks.
Oh yeah. So good.
Dude, it is so good.
Yeah.
The music that I will say the music that they had during the interview with Johnny Depp and dipshit there, Parks.
Yeah.
It's like almost an Italian.
Oh yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, you do.
I
You do.
hated
You don't like
that.
it.
That was the only music or the score that I hated through the whole thing.
Now, do you do you think? Sorry, I pulled my shit out. Do you think that's because you're someone who has been reviewing movies for 23 episodes?
No, I think it's somebody who
So
who can watch a movie.
So an everyday person would pick that out.
I think I would.
Okay.
Even if we weren't,
As a horror fan.
even if we weren't doing a podcast,
Yeah.
I'd be like, well, what is this music? Like
Now-
honestly,
now, does it-
I feel like I could have put better music to that scene. When
Okay.
he's like, it's a barbecue
Now,
in
does
my turn.
does it affect your overall presence of the movie?
It does a little bit, just a tiny
but
bit,
not much.
No, it does a little bit.
Like,
though.
all
'Cause-
in all-
because I'm
okay.
thinking about it right now.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
let's get to this then. To end the episode, all in all, I love this movie.
Great movie.
I mean, I've never
No.
seen a movie like this.
I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say very good movie.
I'm gonna say great movie.
I won't say great movie just because
The only reason-
because if you go great movie, there's nowhere to go up. And
Yeah, but-
when I say great movie, I think of Pet Cemetery. I think of The Exorcist.
Yes.
I think of those.
Yes.
Movies. I'm gonna say very good movie because there's a lot of very good movies that I enjoy watching.
Absolutely.
And that I will never be disappointed with.
Absolutely.
There's certain aspects of them that I may not agree with.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if you say great movie, to me that is almost the epitome of what you have.
Absolutely. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So, where I will go with this, and this is respects to the argument we had at the beginning of the episode.
That was like 3 hours ago.
Yes, but it's to keep in the same realm, right?
Right.
Just in respects, the way I will go with it is great movie. Now, the only reason I say that is because, in argument to the old argument we had, you say Exorcist is obviously your all-time favorite movie.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, did you like 2 or 3?
3.
You liked 3.
3.
You thought it was a good movie.
I thought it was a very good movie.
You did.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Not a great movie. I won't say it was a great movie.
okay,
I'll say it's a very good movie.
But Saw, you loved Saw.
Loved Saw. Good
Did
movie.
you like 5?
Saw 5?
Saw 5.
No, it was an okay movie.
Okay. So back to my point, and this is in complete respects of what you're saying, because I do believe what you're saying is true. It's a really good movie.
Right.
But just to back up what I was saying earlier, I think it's a great movie just because like I said about Saw, if Saw's a one-off, great movie.
Great movie.
All-time movie, right?
Yep.
The Exorcist.
Is Saw a great movie for you? The original?
The original?
Now? Great. Is it great?
Like top 10 or all
I'm saying
or great?
Is it a great movie
Yes,
for you?
yes.
I would agree with that.
But by itself.
I would agree with that.
But by itself.
See,
Now-
you have to.
Yeah, you incorporate. No,
Okay,
this
so
is where the
Home Alone's a great movie.
No, this is
but
where-
Home Alone 3 is shit. So
no,
you can't.
but
So you
Home
can't
Alone
pull
2
that
is
in.
unbelievable.
Home Alone 2 is unbelievable.
Yes. So
But Home Alone 3 sucks.
this is where
ass.
this is where I think we meet in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Where you say like Saw is a great movie and Saw 2 and 3 are great. Or
No, I
or
won't
good,
say they're
good,
great.
good,
They're
good,
okay.
good.
They're good.
But
Yeah.
but it doesn't change your aspect of number 1.
No, it shouldn't.
And me and you agree on Exorcist. Exorcist is all time number
It's
1.
the best.
Doesn't matter if it has sequels.
And anybody who slanders The Exorcist, you know who you are. You
But it
son
doesn't
of a
matter.
bitch.
But it doesn't matter 2 and 3. Even
Right.
though you like 3, it doesn't matter.
3's great.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
3's great. Would you not say 3's great?
It's great.
No, it's very good.
Okay.
It's very good.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
very
you.
good.
So that's where we differ, I think.
Yeah.
Where I think Tusk is great because it's a one-off. Now, if I get 2 and 3 in the context of all these other great movies, if I get 2 and 3, do I think it's as good of a movie? No.
No. So you're saying the Saw franchise takes away from the original Saw? That's really what this podcast is about. Saw 2 and 3
Well, not the whole podcast. But
takes away from
my
the
thoughts
original.
on Saw. Yes, it does.
Yes. So we're getting back to the original point here. From the beginning.
Yes.
You know what I
mean?
mean?
The only reason I think it takes away, it doesn't take away from the actual film, because the actual film itself by itself is unbelievable.
It's great.
But
beginning to end, it's great.
If you don't try to market it and make all these other movies, and it's a one-off,
but it's money. It's money.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I understand everything. Like you made the point earlier, I understand why there was a 2 and 3.
Absolutely.
Because the second and third are great.
You have to.
They honestly are great.
You left people wanting too much without doing something else.
That's what
you know.
What I'm saying is if you're gonna have a trilogy of a movie series, Saw is up there with like top 10 for sure.
Agreed.
As far as top 3 movies go in the franchise, top 3. Okay?
Yeah.
So, but the minute you add on to that, I'm like, ugh. But that doesn't take away from the top 3, right?
Right.
But if you had to take away from the top 3, that's the reason Saw is so low for me.
Right.
If Saw is a one-off, even though the second and third are great, it takes away because of you made 9 of them.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
That is the problem.
Same,
and it's the same thing with Friday the 13th.
Exactly.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Same way. Now, Friday the 13th is a bit different because...
1 and 2 sucked.
But 3 and 4?
3 and 4 are great.
Great.
So
it's weird because it goes from like people thinking it's iconic because of Jason.
Agreed. And they don't understand. A lot of people who watch.
Exactly. Hey, shout out to the Hall of Horror, because me and you agree on this, and Matt would agree with you as well, that the 2000, well, you haven't seen the 2009 remake, but
no,
if you did, you would totally agree with me and the Hall of Horror on this, that it's better because it squishes together the first like 3 movies, where you don't have to go through the whole mother
thing. And it's so bad. And Kevin Bacon.
Okay, let's wrap this fucking shit up, dude.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Cheese and rice, dude. Cheese and rice.
May the power
I don't allow any slander
of Christ compel you, man. No, I get you. But we'll save that for another episode. We've gone way the fuck over our time. And this sucks because this is going to be a great episode, and we're fucked up, and I'm going to mention that in our promos and all that we've drank way too much. Show the tequila bottle. It's almost gone.
Well, we're about a third of the way through it.
Third?
I'm just kidding.
A third? Dude, it's gone pretty much. 4 more tequila shots, and that's gone.
Let's do a shot right now, and then we'll do one to end one.
Oh, we have one in. You're right.
Yeah,
third. You're probably right.
Yeah, we'll do one now, and then we'll do one to end it, because fuck it. This has been an episode.
No, but what I'm saying is,
cheers.
This has been a great episode, but we want to make sure we save, because a lot of these movies we talked about, we're going to save for summer episodes.
Absolutely.
Especially Friday the 13th.
Cheers.
Saw
Don't cop out on me. Don't cop out on me. I know you got to drive home, you son of a bitch.
Cop out, Kevin Smith.
I know what
right on point.
I knew what I was
doing. Anybody who got to this point, they're way off point. We're not off point.
Hey. I know we're way off topic yet.
Yeah,
I know we're way off topic.
We're far
cheers,
in. So
cheers.
And we have a short film to film after this.
We're not filming no short films after this.
I think we are, though.
We'll see.
Anyway, this has been our episode on Tusk. I know it's been a fucking kind of a roller coaster. But honestly, this is one of my favorite episodes.
It's been a good one.
Maybe that's the tequila talking. But to be honest,
We popped this at the beginning. Yeah. No.
Do you? Here's a weird thing. Let's do this. So, our talk on Tusk has ended right now. We appreciate you listening to our episode on Tusk, episode 23. But we're gonna go a little overboard on here. I'm gonna talk to Matt personally right now.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, when you see this, when they started this episode, it was here. That's all I'm saying.
And we had already drank that much.
Yeah. And we've taken a few. Let's be clear. Let's be clear and transparent with everyone. We've taken a few breaks, but this
because you had to pee. Yeah.
Well, and you.
No, you had to pee on.
You're right. You're right. I've had to pee a few times.
I told you I would pee into this Avion thing.
I know, and you actually grabbed it at one point.
I was gonna pee.
You're right. I had to pee a few times, and we had to cut the episode, but we did not pour any of this out.
No.
This was done on the podcast 100%.
100%.
You agree with that? You agree with that?
Agree. I would never pour alcohol out.
Never. And we have a couple shots poured. So what you see here, almost gone. There is 2 more shot glasses here.
Cheers.
Okay, no.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Here's to the Home of Horror podcast.
Thankful.
And here's to all the people who
all
support us.
of you who are watching right now, thank you so much.
And here's
Seriously.
to everybody who supports us.
I'm serious, though.
Yes.
You're right, Matt.
Cheers.
First of all, it's New England Home of Horror, and it's Tequila Monster.
It's not the way we do things,
Home of Horror fucking podcast.
It's not the way we do things.
Thank you guys
cheers.
so fucking much.
And you know what? May the power of Christ compel you.
Thank you guys so fucking
Later.
much.
Cheers.
Home of Horror, the Home of Horror podcast. Home of Horror, the Home of Horror podcast. Horror podcast. So that's your third Stephen King?
Don't start with me, dude.
I bet they spent less than $50,000 on that movie.
$252,000.
Oh wow, really? Home of